In this video, I'm going to run through some of my favourite builds from Bricktastic 2025 and why they stood out and have inspired me to really crack on with my own mock building. Needless to say, I can't show all the displays I saw. However, they were all fantastic and I'm so grateful to everyone that displayed and volunteered. You are all awesome. This is going to be a hardcore whistle-stop tour. Please pause the video to admire any of the builds and to get the builders' details if you are interested in their work. Also, if you are watching this within the first 7 days of the video's release, be sure to watch to the end, where I'll also share with you a limited time exclusive of my thoughts and advice as a visitor that may or may not be useful if you are thinking of attending Bricktastic in the future. So let's do this. Walking into the main convention space, we saw the vastness of displays, but also some vendors, a build space with a make and take sponsored by Lego, and very importantly, some food vendors for grabbing food and soon to be much needed coffee. The first display we saw was this year's Bricktastic Challenge, in which talented builders were given the task of reimagining the Lego Concord build in a different style. I remember seeing pictures of last year's 8080 version of this challenge, and I just love that this is a thing, as it makes you want to give it a go yourself and shows the ingenuity and imagination these builders have. We had the Swancorde, which was actually built by Simon Scott, the Lego Ideas designer behind the Nightmare Before Christmas set, Dragoncorde, Pizzacorde, Concorde-A-Tron, Galaxocorde, USS Concorprise, Squididlycorde, Storkecorde carrying some kitties and with some flapping action, Concorde, Fairy Concorde with some really beautiful vibrant colours, Feathers ConArtist McGraw, of course, using brick separators for feet, which was really clever, and Machinations hitting my 90s inner child with the nostalgia. These were all so cool to look at and all so different despite being based on the same set, just showing how there are no rules when it comes to your imagination. Keeping the flow with the collab displays, of course, I had to mention Nuhishima. Finally getting to see this Lego collaboration in real life was fantastic, because despite seeing a lot of posts of this mock at other conventions in the past on socials, this is one you need to see for real life to appreciate the intricacy of it. You could spend a good couple hours trying to see all the little stories going on, even trying to navigate how each section connects to the next, all the wee paths, trying to work out where one starts and one ends. There are no words to how seemingly complex this build is. We got speaking to one of the collaborators, who actually explained it's not too difficult, with all the collaborators starting with the basic build template skeleton for one of the blocks to make sure it all fits together. This is just every cyberpunk fan's dream. The use of lights, some moving parts, and of course the added screen to mimic digital billboards was just so out of this Lego world, I know, and something I had not seen before. Another collab I need to mention is of course Soapboxtastic. So this was an idea that actually came about on one of my live streams by the talented mocker Polar Bricks, as we chatted about the new Lego City soapbox cars that were released this year. The idea behind it being a build visitors at Bricktastic could interact with and be a part of at a low cost, opening up to everyone who's interested, including families, and can incorporate any theme that you like. The sheer number of soapboxes that found their way to the Hill of Champions was insane, and far more than we could have ever imagined. The mini event couldn't have been what it is without the ever-talented Mad Lib for doing all the marketing, so please be sure to check out Soapboxtastic over on Instagram. Like everyone that got involved, Aaron and I raced our carts down the Hill of Champions, my Disney Stitch soapbox, and Aaron's 1989 Batmobile. Who was triumphant? Let us know who you think in the comments below. Oh, and I had to show off Brickbot Carrie's Bruni soapbox. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Next, we have this amazingly vibrant, adrenaline-pumping fairground. This theme park is all about fun, and another example of how a great collab can pull together such an effective explosion of creativity. It's not even just about the crazy rides that I dare say look scary fast, about all the little stories happening. Each builder with their own ideas has really made this display a total buzz to enjoy and really comes to life in every corner. Another collab to put a huge smile on this Scottish lassie's face was of course seeing the 4th rail bridge. Oh my goodness, this thing was big. I have never seen so much red Technic before, but it worked an absolute treat. I have crossed this bridge more times than I can even count, and honestly this Lego build was crazy accurate and even included the real life made of 4th boat that does trips under the bridge and the little hoosies that actually exist near the shores of the River Forth. Up next is this ultimate Lego Star Wars pod race mock. The stands were filled to capacity with lots of different and obscure minifigs ready to watch wee Annie whiz around the build's track at high speed, or moderate speed. Never did so much tan plate look so good. We even got an exclusive look of the Bulbous taking a chance on the track, but did he make it round the bend? Watch to the end to find out. A super imaginative Lego collab was Project Wonderlist, stemming from a Lego Christmas campaign in which children suggested boring Christmas presents reimagined as something fun, and the builders did not disappoint. There were rocket boosted cat slippers, a robot coffee maker, and a musical vacuum cleaner that that sprays glitter and toys. This was just such a great idea that got kids involved at the design stage. And to see what these AFOLs came up with is just the most wholesome example of a community collab that made my face hurt so much from smiling so hard. That and reminding me that I needed a coffee break. The final collab I'm going to mention for now is the Teal Squadron, a Star Wars themed build in which each builder made a spaceship accented with teal coloured bricks so that they could easily hide in their rebel base found on this remote ocean planet. It was so cool to see the Star Wars theme designed this way, as it pulled attention away from the usual greys that we see in this theme to create something I found so pleasing to the eye. Again, as a collaborative build, it was really impressive to see so many sections and areas seamlessly extend so well into the next, and as an ocean planet, made me feel like I was looking at a rebel base in almost a multiverse of the OG Star Wars that we all know and love. The first mock or mod I had to show was this incredible micro Gotham skyline and subterranean lair. Any LEGO collector following the DC Batman series will recognize this straight away as a 3D version of set 76271 Batman the Animated Series Gotham City that released last year in 2024. The designer wanted to elaborate on and extend several of the original LEGO set skyscrapers, which were two-dimensional, and add emphasis and attention to the 138 buildings, 1 train, 12 bridges, 2 Batwings, 44 cars, 3 subway cars, 3 ships, 3 airships, and so much more. There's also a custom Batcave, complete with rotating Batmobile platform, huge Bat computer, and awesome Gotham sign. There were so many fun examples of builders modifying existing sets and making them their own, which is something I'd never really considered before. I thought this was so cool to show and mention, as it highlights that to build LEGO, and even to display at events like this, you can literally use a real LEGO set to inspire your own creativity and spark ideas. And it is a great place to start if you're thinking or trying to design your own build. This Friends Assembly Theatre version of the Palace Cinema was conceived with the reality in mind that buying this retired set was out of financial reach. So using set instructions on the LEGO website and the bricks that they had at home, the builder came up with their own take on this hugely popular modular set and quite frankly knocked it out the park, using a use what you got, not what you've not attitude. Another way in which displayers modified their sets was essentially just expanding them using their own imagination. Like this Animal Crossing island combining all the sets from the theme, which really shows the potential and playability like a child or adult could quite easily play with this display and have a great time visiting Nook's Cranny or fishing in the sea or whatever. There was also this LEGO modular street built by the fun-loving character himself, Rick, putting a bunch of the modular sets together, modifying some, and also the Eiffel Tower to make this hilarious display I even considered a very fun street to live on. As long as you don't bump into this guy, maybe. The mishmash of themes here was a LEGO overload of stories and really enjoyable to look at. I think we spent a good 20 minutes just trying to take it all in. Speaking of overload, we found every Ninjago fan's dream in this magnificent display encompassing most, if not all, the sets in the growingly popular theme. Some non-Ninjago sets also found their way into this display and worked really well, like the Tranquil Gardens and Sailboat sets. Displays I really wanted to highlight for what I'm calling out-of-the-block thinking are those that didn't limit themselves just to bricks, but added other elements to their build to really bring their displays to life. I spent a good amount of time talking to Jackie about her Cabinet of Curiosity build, in which she installed some LED lights to the inside of the builds. This worked super effectively in bouncing off the light inside the cabinet, white walls. I just loved this as it made sure that all the interior build details and techniques could be seen clearly within, and in my mind added an element of class and sophistication to the build. Another super cool example of lighting being used was in the Sonic Rangers Command Center mock. The builder actually used a light kit designed by a third party, designed for installation into the LEGO Ideas Fender Stratocaster set. Quite frankly, I think this is genius and works so effectively with the different color figs complementing the build so well and providing the Sonic gamer look that rightly belongs in this command center. Or if lights aren't your thing, you could go even more trippy with some VR effect to really spiral your audience into a frenzy, like what happened to me here. And if this wasn't pure sorcery enough, we also saw the use of magnets to provide movement to minifigs in their environment, like here in the Dragon's Rising Power Element Shrine display, and the use of a hidden smoke machine in this boiling river of the Amazon build to make this lava look really scorching hot. And speaking of scorching hot, now it's time for what I'm calling extra spicy. Okay, so I had to put together a collection of displays, or even moments that truly stung me in all the right ways. That sounds a bit weird, but let's go with it. The first had to be meeting and speaking with the super talented Simon Scott, who is the designer of the Nightmare Before Christmas set and the Swancorde. Simon was kind enough to answer questions from myself and other eager NBC fans about the process of developing this set into what we can now purchase in stores. It was really cool to see the OG design next to the LEGO Produce item and hearing about how involved he was with the process. And he's just such a super nice guy. Later in the day, we also found Steve McGuinness, who I've been following for some time now, displaying his latest submission for LEGO Ideas, Make It Move Inventor Kit. This is a great series of mini builds, all with different modes of motion using really simple building techniques, and in my mind is the ultimate starter kit for anyone wanting to try their hands at introducing movement into their builds, but unsure where to start. This submission is currently sitting at just over 3,000 votes, so be sure to use the link provided to head over and vote, vote, vote. Okay, so being the #1 Disney fan, I also have to mention this incredible Sleeping Beauty castle MOC, which the builder designed to recreate the Disneyland Paris castle itself. Having been there, I could see the little details and accuracies so clearly, from the Maleficent dragon under the castle to the teeny tiny sword in the stone that can be seen through the castle to the back. This build had magical storytelling, great building techniques, especially giving the rounded towers, and the fun and enjoyment watching the themed float fly around the main build. And finally, the king of the castle, or should I say the godliest of them all for me, was this MOC right here. The City of Thebes, based on the Disney movie Hercules. This MOC was truly inspirational to see. There was so much detail and a real sense of scale despite not being a huge build. With 11 minifigure characters, yet only 2 were actually produced by LEGO, 3 creature builds, all MOCs. This builder was so creative, using moldable Play-Doh to create the characters' identifiable features, like Meg's hair for example, anything that was needed to tell all the scenes recreated in this build. I seriously didn't want to leave this display and honestly wish LEGO would make this. Oh my god, I just loved it so much. Obviously, despite us all having our own personal favourites, there was no end to the creativity displayed at Bricktastic this year. There were displays that were quite literally pieces of art, whether intentional or just, they were so beautiful. Builds representing themes no longer in production by LEGO, but were reincarnated by the passion of the builders in their displays. And of course, the themes that LEGO no longer produce, or have never held the IP for, that LEGO fans clearly have an itch to see in our stores. I wish it were possible to show each and every build off in this video. Oh my goodness, that would be a very long video. And to be honest, there's nothing quite like seeing these displays for yourself in the flesh or in the brick. So I really encourage you to attend Bricktastic or any LEGO event if it's something you have considered doing. Not only do you get that sense of wonder walking around these fantastic displays and meeting the super talented builders behind them, you also get to revel in the mutual love for the hobby that is LEGO building, which is something particularly us, adult fans of LEGO, need. Networking, meeting friends, old and new, is something I will most definitely take away from this experience as the ultimate highlight, and know that through this creative and fun hobby, I can build not only this toy that I passionately enjoy, but friendships for life too. Please remember to check out all the fantastic builders' socials. All their details can be found in the description below. Thank you to those that truly inspired my inner master builder, and I hope to see much more of your fabulous builds very, very soon.